sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. That's right. I'm here. The Jersey Takeover is here. We've expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're trying to make sense out of this senseless. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch broadcast. What's a broadcast? If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. Don't forget to subscribe to that live stream. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one. Click on the Reaver store. So, how's everybody doing? I am doing peachy king. Got some gifts coming in today. So I'm kind of happy. But this article we're going to start out with this morning, it's the hypocrisy of the Democrat Party, the media, and pretty much the United States. I seem to remember back a couple months ago, some jackass said that people should vote for Donald Trump. And everybody jumped, oh my God, Donald Trump's getting supported by the KKK. He's racist. Well, one of the main leaders of the Ku Klux Klan has said that the group officially endorses Hillary Clinton for president. In fact, the group has already donated over $20,000 to her campaign. Where's the media? Where's the outrage? Oh, there is none. Because Hillary, well, when it comes to the Democrats, they hide their racism within the party. And don't fool yourself. There is more racism in that party that still goes on to this day, and they just cover it up. And so many people buy their bullshit. Oh, they said they're not racist. They're not racist anymore. Well, you see, back in 1964, they switched parties. Yes, they did. Yeah. I didn't know so many people listen to fucking fairy tales and actually believe them. It's absolutely ridiculous. Who's the party that had a Klan member all the way up until 2010 as their senator? Yeah, it wasn't the fucking Republicans. Yeah, it was the Democrats had a KKK senator, not the Republicans. And he wasn't just a member, he was a high-ranking official within the KKK, and at one time recruiter for the KKK. But yeah, we'll overlook that fact. How many people don't even know about that or know that the KKK was started by the Democrat Party? There is so much racism within that party. Jesus Christ, their own goddamn... Their own plans scream racism. Welfare, job assistance, you can't do it. You must get help. from the government because you minorities can't do it. But it's the Republican Party that says, yes, these people could do it. They got the drive. They got the fight. They could do it. We believe in them. Oh, we're racist for that? Oh, okay. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on. There is so many policies that scream racism, and it just... The Klan leader, Will Quigg, told the news that for the KKK, Clinton is our choice. She is a friend of the Klan. A lot of people don't realize that. She's friends with the late Senator Robert Byrd. He's been exalted Cyclops in the Klan. He's been King Kegel. You got the funny names. Senator Robert Byrd of West Virginia led his state's Klan chapter in the 1940s. In 2005, he disavowed his involvement with the KKK and said that it was wrong. So, we're going to talk, 60-plus years as a Klan member, and then, I disavow, I was wrong, all is forgiven. Seriously? See, this is the difference between Democrat Party and Republican Party. Republican Party actually tries to look to the good of the people. Now, Democrat Party, Byrd would have never lasted that long in the Republican Party because the Democrats would have been out there on the street screaming, crying, protesting, burning buildings down. And this is where it totally amazes me that people actually stole back the Democrat Party. They can't see that the racial divide that the party is putting into this country as it is now. The Republican Party's got its issues. Oh, yes, it's got its issues. But this is not one of them. This is a Democrat issue, and they love to throw it in the face of everybody. And they love to have the divide. You got Miss Hillary Clinton here being endorsed by the Klan. You have her out there saying how she adores and wants to be like Margaret Sanger, the lady that came up with Planned Parenthood, who happened to be a major racist. In fact, the reason why she started the Planned Parenthood was she figured she could wipe out the blacks through abortions. She thought she could at least lower the population by talking them into having abortions. But, Hillary's for everybody. Yeah. Hillary's for lying and getting her own way and protecting Bill from being a sexual predator. That's a full-time job right there. Hillary Clinton's experience, why she should be president. Well, I've been a sexual predator wrangler for about 30 years now. It's just... And when I talk about Senator Byrd, this is the hypocrisy and the bullshit that I talk about. They allowed this senator to 60-some years run as a senator, and nothing was ever said. They knew his history, the Democrats. The Democrats, all they had to say is, we're not help financing you. You're a goddamn racist. We're against that. But they still allowed him to run. It's it is absolutely a joke. This is not the only Klan member that has backed Hillary. She is backed by multiple, and nobody says a word. Everybody just lets it go by. Some dumbass David Duke says that people should vote for Donald Trump, and everybody blows a fucking gasket. Well, this Klan member and his Klan say that they are endorsing Hillary, and nobody says a goddamn word. Where's all the media upheaval on this? The Queen goes on. All the stuff she's saying now, she's saying so she can get in office. Okay. She don't care about illegal immigrants. She's acting like she does so she can get into office. Once she's in office, then she'll implement her policies. She's a Democrat. The Klan has always been a Democratic organization. And not a goddamn word. The KKK's leader's comment about the Democrat Party members support the Klan is true to some extent. In the past, the Democrat Party had the history of treating black people poorly, which included fighting to keep slavery legal in the United States. They authored the Jim Crow laws in the South, and the party also founded and populated the KKK. Now, they're always the one, oh, they're trying to bring back the Jim Crow laws. Oh, we always hear Debbie Wasserman Schultz saying that. Yeah, your party would know about it. They fucking created the Jim Crow laws. And people sit there and buy it. On the other hand, the Republican Party has had a long history of standing up for African Americans. It limited the growth of slavery in the 1850s. Abraham Lincoln was the first Republican president, led the nation in a civil war, and ended slavery in 1860s. After that, the Republican-controlled Congress passed amendments in 1860 and in 1870 that freed slaves, granted them equal protection, and gave former slaves the right to vote. The Republicans also passed the Civil Rights Act in 1964. And I always get, oh, no, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. It was the Democrats. It was passed by 80% of the Republicans in both houses, while only 60% of the Democrats favored the bill. It was sponsored by two Republicans. The only reason they get the credit for it because there was a Democrat president. It was the Republicans that pushed and got the Civil Rights Act passed, not the Republicans. But they like to steal the credit. And that's all the Democrats can do. They keep stealing everybody's credit. The Democrats are, their history has been Jim Crow laws, slavery, and against civil rights. Oh yeah, they learned that, oh, if we talk about civil rights, we can win. You have LBJ sitting there saying that if he can get the black people to vote Democrat, they'll win elections for years to come. And that's all they looked at. But yet, they've done shit. We got a black president that hasn't done shit for his own people. He talked about it going into office. He was going to do all this stuff. What has he done? He's given jobs to illegal immigrants. He's increased those HB1 visa, which puts everybody out of work, Americans out of work. So tell me, what has he done? I always ask that, and I can never get an answer. He's increased the debt. Yep. He's increased the debt. He has increased the debt. You add up all the presidents before him. All 43 presidents, you add them up. You add them up. And it equals the debt. 200 and some years of this country can be summed up or added up and equal to the debt of one president in 8 years. Oh, damn it. I don't know if it's allergies or... I keep hearing, well, this president's done. He's done what? He hasn't done much, people. So, Julianne Moore. This is going to show you how stupid this actress is. It's going to show how her head is filled with rocks. Gun control is not a Second Amendment issue. Are you a fucking moron? Seriously, she's going to get the window-licking, helmet-wearing, I am a fully fucking retard award. Actress Julianne Moore attended a march for gun control on Saturday, telling attendees that gun control is not a Second Amendment issue. The march was organized by, guess who? Michael Bloomberg-funded Moms Demand Action. Participants in the gun control event marched across the Brooklyn Bridge to demand that Congress expand background checks to more gun purchases. Barbara Parker, mother of slain reporter Allison Parker, someone's got to invent a better microphone arm. Allison Parker took part in the march as well. Breitbart News previously reported that Vester Lee Flanagan, the gunman who killed Parker, passed background checks to acquire his guns. I don't know if it's today. I forget. I put this all together and I usually forget exactly which articles. Or it's tomorrow. I have an article about guns, and it's going to show a list of all the people that have committed all these crimes. Well, not all, but the major ones that have been on the news, and how many have passed the background checks and passed all these gun control measures that the gun control idiots say will stop the violence. This will stop nothing, people. Zero. Zilch. Nothing. We just had a shooter this week? Was it the beginning of this week or the end of last week? Wow, he had a gun, and he got it several years ago. And he was given a court order to turn over all his weapons, and he turned over a majority of them. But he kept that one. It's an absolute joke. Gun control ain't gonna do shit. New Jersey screams proof. And anytime one of these idiots wants to debate me, wants to come on the show and talk about gun control, I'll be more than glad to have them on. And when someone idiot like Moore, this is not a Second Amendment issue. It does not deserve to be hotly debated as such. It is a safety issue. You are a fucking moron. It is not a safety issue. It is a control issue. Gun control does not work. It just... They have another sign criticized concealed carrying, saying nobody carrying loaded guns in public is a good guy. You are a fucking moron. It pisses me off, people. These idiots. These mindless drones. All they do is parrot. They don't understand the reality of what's going on in the world. Because as they're doing these gun control marches, they're surrounded by security guards with guns, police officers with guns to protect them. Moms demand, go get laid or something. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, trying to make sense out of senseless. And I got to apologize for yelling like that. It just... The stupidity hurts my brain. It really does. I'm just sick of these idiots. And it's not just gun control. It's all the other crap that they spew and they force upon people. Let's take it, for instance, okay, I've said I don't give a shit who you sleep with. That's your life. But you're saying that you don't want other people forcing their lifestyle on you. But what are you doing? You're forcing your lifestyle on us. And I actually didn't come up with that point. I'll admit that. And I forget exactly what the guy's name was. I was in a bar and I was having a couple of drinks. And there was a gentleman that was gay. And we got bullshitting. And I've never... My uncle was gay. I grew up around it. Never bothered me. And he made that point. And he said that all this bullshit in the media makes his life even harder. Because it starts to turn people against his lifestyle. Now, he said a lot of people just left him alone. But it's getting to the point where everybody's starting to get pissed off. Sorry. I have to write something down real quick. I understand what's going on, but this forcing it upon everybody's to accept and in the long run you're pissing people off. I mean, seriously, you push a lot of people away. And you're trying to push all this onto people. And even with the gun control, when you make statements like gun control has nothing to do with the Second Amendment, do you know how stupid you look when you make those comments? And I know they don't care. It's their feeling. It feels good. Oh. It really pisses us off and pushes us away. And the problem with gun control also is every time we've but we've tried to compromise and work with these idiots, they push and push further. Back in the 80s, a lot of these issues were taken care of and compromises were brought about. And now they're crying, it's loopholes. No. And this is the exact points of once we give you a little bit, you want more and more and more and more and more. And that's why most pro-guns don't want to move an inch because it's not going to help. It's not going to stop anything. It's been proven time and time again that gun control does not fucking work. There's new studies. Hello, Kel. There's new studies coming out that are showing, because they're starting to get enough time has passed and a large enough areas to compare, that the states that have gun control are having a higher rate of crime. It's already been proven, and Obama even admitted it during his town hall gun control little meeting, He conceded that we are a record low of gun violence. Record low. With gun control being removed, we are at a record low. With people being allowed to protect themselves, we are at a record low. But when it comes to the media, you'd be hard-pressed to find that fact. And even on Fox News, you'd be hard-pressed because they keep glamorizing any type of little incident because it's good for ratings. And like I said, I shouldn't have yelled like I did on that one. It's just, I'm so sick of these idiots. I am tired. This is not a Second Amendment issue. It does not deserve to be hotly debated as such. It is a safety issue. No, safety issue is making sure that safety's on. Gun control is using both hands. Gun control is making sure that you hit your target. Plain and simple. And your feelings of fear of guns does not trump my right to protect my family. And again, I find it funny. You sit here, you do these marches with your Moms Demand Bloomberg back groups. You cry about the NRA interfering with gun control and pumping money. And what the hell do you think Michael Bloomberg's doing? He's doing the same thing that NRA is doing. You sit here and you do these marches as you're surrounded by security with guns. When you give up your guns, when all these politicians give up their guns, and I mean the armed security around them and your armed security, when all of them give it up and you show me it's safe, and which is going to be more than, one day. It's going to take years. Then I'll give up my guns. When our politicians are not surrounded by armed guards, when these Mom Demand and anti-gun groups give up their armed security, when these celebrities give up their armed security, then come talk to me about me giving up my protecting my family. Everybody loves these challenges. Well, here's my challenge. Give up your armed security. Then come talk. I'm a little stuffy. Representative Diane Black, the Department of Justice is worried about hurting the feelings of felons and convicts. The Justice Department's decision to avoid using the words convict and felon to describe convicts and felons is more political correctness run amok. DOJ's Office of Justice Programs has called the two words disparaging and harmful to formerly incarcerated individuals as they transition from prison back into society. Diane Black called the Justice Department tone deaf. I got to close these curtains because I got an American flag that's right out my window. And with the wind, it just every now and then catches out of the corner of my eye and makes me look that way. It's like, damn it. While the Department of Justice is apparently worried about the hurt feelings of those who broke our laws, I am more interested in hearing from the families of these criminals. Let me ask you something. Nobody worried about the hurt feelings of my father, my brothers, my mother, me. No one worries about the hurt feelings of the victims. And you want to talk about offensive? I find this so offensive. This is disgusting. You're more worried about the fucking criminals than you are about the victims. The Department of Justice is more worried about the criminals than the victims. Let that soak in a minute. They are more worried about the criminals. Because no one came to my house after my dad was shot and saying, "Oh, we're worried about you." Nope. Nothing. Oh. Further, I can assure the DOJ that the use of these words is not preventing felons from reintegrating into society after serving their sentences. The fact that this agency would even make that suggestion, and in doing so, ignore the personal responsibility that these ex-offenders must assume for themselves, is reckless and wrong. Once again, Washington bureaucrats are rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. Our country is in trouble, and government agencies are busy thinking of politically correct terms for convicts and illegal aliens. It defies comprehension. It does not solve a single problem facing America today. As part of the National Reentry Week, U.S. Assistant Attorney General Mason announced on Wednesday that she recently issued an agency-wide policy directing Department of Justice employees to consider how the language we use affects reentry success. The labels we affix to those who have served time can drain their sense of self-worth and perpetuate a cycle of crime. Let me tell you something. Changing the name of being a convict or felon is not going to change whether they commit another crime or not. This is more political correctness gone wrong and going into their heads, and they actually think it's going to change people. How many retards do we have working in government today? And no, I'm not talking about mentally handicapped challenges and stuff. These government workers are retards. They deserve no respect, these people. And I do mean it in a derogatory sense when I'm talking about these government workers. When I'm talking about people with mental handicaps, I will say mental handicaps because I actually have respect for them. They try. They work hard to advance themselves. These people, they try to see who's dumber. Who can come up with the dumbest idea? I swear to God, they have like this poll going on in the U.S. government. Who can come up with the dumbest idea? Because I don't hear no life-changing ideas coming. I hear a bunch of window-licking ideas coming. It just, how dumb can you be? We shouldn't call them convicts and felons. Maybe they shouldn't break the fucking law. Then they won't get called convicts and felons if they don't break the law. How's that for an idea? How about this? You want to reintegrate? Stop breaking the law. I don't know. Is that a novel idea to anybody else? I mean, it just don't break the law. You won't go back to jail. There's an old saying that only the dumb criminals go to jail. Smart ones don't. This just keeps showing the idiocy of our government. And I don't know. I do not know what's going on in this world. This one's one of those that's just a holy shit. We just got a bunch of idiots in Washington, D.C. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plain Pundit Radio. We'll be right back.
Media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cough was stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. Thanks, Gal. I actually needed that laugh. I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless, and it doesn't always go that way. It really doesn't. And on a day like today, that I'm not feeling the greatest, it really is hard to make sense out of the senseless. But the Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a live broadcast, that's easy. Go to Reaver.one, click on the live stream, and don't forget to hit subscribe. If you want to support the show or support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one and click on the Reaver store. So, let's see, where are we at? Stuff we've been, the gun control and all that just has my head numb. The Department of Justice more worried about convict and felons' feelings than they are about the victims. That really gives me a headache. Except I just cracked my neck. Oh, that felt good. It just... We're worried about who we shouldn't be worried about, and ignoring the people that we should be worried about and taking care of. I am telling you, 7.5 years ago, I went to sleep and I woke up in a reverso world. I've been saying this for about 7 years now. I am in reverso world. We care more about our enemies, the Muslims, than we do about our military. We care more important about illegal immigrants than we do about our citizens. We care more about criminals than we do about the victim. We want to make it easier for criminals and harder for citizens to protect themselves. We want to make rich people out of the poor people that don't want to work. And making the people that work hard poor. People who hate the country are held up as opposed to the people who are patriotic to the country. Or am I just reading this whole situation wrong? It just... I swear, the best thing I could say is that I woke up in reverso land. Is that the stabbing that went on? I caught it real quick, Kel. I really didn't get much into it. There was some kind of stabbing that went on today, I think. And, yeah, I never seen so much bullshit in my life, and I've dealt with a lot, been to my grandfather's farm a lot, and I've never seen this much bullshit in my life. Yeah, there's been another, looks like Islamic terror attack, lone wolf attack, whatever excuse they want to give for Islamic terrorism. In Germany, I believe it was Munich, wasn't it? Stabbed, killed 1 and wounded 3 with a knife. Hey, because knives don't kill people. Only guns do that, so that must be a false story. Stupidity of the left. It's almost getting to the point we should friggin' make Democrat liberals against the law, because it is a hazard to the health of the world. The socialist bullshit is putting people's lives at danger. And they keep thinking it's not them. Ugh. So the BBC headline, Germany, Muslims screaming Allah Akbar, kills 1, wounds 3 at train station. Motive is unclear. It is mind-numbingly stupid. I'm telling you, we need to make this a liberal mindset illegal. You want to talk about hazardous to your health? They will do anything and everything that would get you killed. They don't care. As long as they could say, look at this, my feelings were upheld. Look at this, we protected the feelings as the Muslims, as he's slitting your throat. And John Kerry has attacked Donald Trump's wall proposal, and he tells Northeastern University grads to prepare for a borderless world. Right there, that is their end game. They want a borderless world. And they sit there and say that these New World Order ideas are tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. No, it isn't. They don't even hide it. That's the funny thing. They don't even hide it anymore that they want to go this New World Order, which is a one world government. They don't even hide it anymore, and there's still idiots that go, nope, that's a conspiracy theory. It's not true. They don't even hide it. On Friday, Secretary of State John Kerry took a shot at likely presumptive GOP presidential nominee Donald Trump, particularly on his proposed border wall, during his commencement address at Northeastern University in Boston. Kerry warned the grads not to be susceptible to soundbite salesmen and carnival barkers, and argued walls are not a cure-all for the United States security. But they're a cure-all for Mexico. They're a cure-all for what? About 3 countries in Africa that we are paying for the wall to be built. And not years ago. Right now we're doing it. Obama has been helping 3 countries build a wall to protect their borders. But it's bad for us to build a border. How's that? Ugh. Many of you were in elementary school when you learned the toughest lesson of all on 9/11, John Kerry said, and that son of a bitch bringing that up pisses me off. There are no walls big enough to stop people from anywhere. Tens of thousands of miles away who are determined to take their own lives while they target others. Thank you for speaking on why we should try to secure our borders the best possible and have security at airports. Thank you, you friggin' moron. So I think that everything that we've lived and learned tells us that we will never come out on top if we accept advice from soundbite sales. Where was the soundbite salesman and carnival barker prior to 9/11 saying we should protect ourselves or we shouldn't? Yeah, there wasn't. There was you jackass, trying to run for president that would have put us worse in danger. You were the salesman that was barking out sound bites. That's the funny part. He was doing the soundbite bullshit, and he's bashing himself. God. I just want to bang my head against the wall right now. He can't even come up with a sensible argument. On May 28, 1924, Congress established the Border Patrol as part of the Immigration Bureau of Department of Labor through the Labor Appropriation Act. Even then, they knew we needed to protect our border. And now it's, we don't need to protect our border. We don't need borders. I can't wait to get John Kerry out. He is the most... It's nice that we give jobs to mentally handicapped, but we shouldn't be giving them to the Secretary of State. Seriously, the guy has proven over and over again that he's mentally handicapped. They're talking about this shit. Then he's in Iran. They're chanting death to America. And, they don't mean death to America. That's not what they mean. He comes up with such bullshit he can't even... And Cal just put up exactly common sense ruled back then. Yes, common sense was back then. And for those that don't know, the name of the show is Reaver of Common Sense. Why? Because Reavers were the bringer of death. The death of common sense is upon us. Most of our politicians do not have one iota of common sense. They have no... I'm not going to say that on air. That will have the FBI. We need to have a talk with you. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. They don't knock. I'll be replacing a door. On a different note, I was actually flipping through the channels and I saw Cops on last night. And it was a German Shepherd police dog going after a criminal. And why I bring it up, it was funny because the guy rolls over like an idiot. And the dog, the German Shepherd, gets him right in the crotch. And I mean, takes a chomp right out of the guy's crotch. You've seen that guy stop moving real quick. Don't ask me why. That was funny as hell. John Kerry is mentally handicapped. That's the only thing I can think of. For some people, that is all they need, simply to climb under the sheets, close their eyes, and push the world away. And shockingly, we even see this attitude from some who think they ought to be entrusted with the job of managing international affairs. Listen, you wanted to, and you're in a position of managing international affairs. A fucking cockroach could do a better job than you. You're about to graduate into a complex and borderless world. No, there is borders. Borders are nations. Other nations are allowed to protect their borders, but for some reason they keep telling America we don't have a right to protect ours. We don't have a right to have borders. How does that make sense that everybody else is allowed to protect? Mexico has a goddamn wall to the south. Why did they put it up? Because they had illegal immigrants coming into their country and taking jobs from the Mexicans. Now, the other thing that really pissed me off, you got a bunch of people in the United States, both legal and illegal, that come into the United States, and then they wave a Mexican flag and go into the Southwest and say it needs to go back to Mexico. If Mexico is so great, why the fuck did you leave? If Mexico was so great, why did you leave Mexico and come to the United States? If Mexico is so great, why don't you go back? I welcome immigration, and I have no problem with people being proud of their heritage, but when they sit there and wave these flags and say that Mexico's the greatest and we need to give the land back to Mexico, very easy. Step over the border. Go back. Mexico isn't that great. You get the same ones that do it about the Middle East. Oh, Habibland is so much better. Well, then go back. If your countries are so great, go back there and live. And I don't want to hear, well, the government. No. You keep saying about how great Mexico is. Go back. How great Iran is. Go back. How great North Korea is. Go back. If you want to be here, be here. But you want to be here, you better be saying that America is the greatest. And that's why you are here. Not that you want to bash it. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plain Pundit Radio. Good fences makes a good neighbor. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians.
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying coffee is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, trying to make sense out of the senseless. Hang on. The Reaver Takeover is here. We've expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you wanted to join the conversation, go to shrmedia.com, click on the chat room button, join the conversation. Oh, man, I'm trying to do this totally off memory. I say this every day, repeatedly. But if you want to watch a broadcast, you can go to Reaver.1. Don't forget to subscribe to the broadcast. If you want to support the show or support SHR Media, go to Reaver.1. Click on the Reaver store. All right. I wish I had happy, joy stories to tell. I really do. But no, I get to tell stories like a school okays Hispanic students wearing dumb Trump shirts. A California high school has agreed to allow its Hispanic students to wear their dumb Trump shirts on campus despite a dress code that seems to prohibit them. The principal of Newport Harbor High School in Newport Beach, a town south of Los Angeles, agreed to let a group of Hispanic students wear shirts, making comments that weren't exactly pro-Trump. The school's dress code for the 2015-2016 school year puts a ban on clothing with inappropriate graphics and clothing with a message that denigrates others on account of gender, sexual orientation, race, color, religion, ancestry, national origins, handicap, or disadvantage. Hang on, I'm typing something and I can't type and talk at the same time. Trying to type. I can't do it at the same time. Nope. No matter what I do. And sorry about that. Trying to type and trying to do a couple things. It's despite the rules, school authorities are allowing these students to wear T-shirts attacking Trump and his voters. One of the girls who requested the bending of the rules said her shirt made her feel equal and that wearing the shirt was an expression of free speech. I feel like they're saying that we can wear the shirt makes me feel equal with them now. That I have the same privilege as they do. I didn't feel that before. Yeah, but then you would have to allow the other people to wear the opposing idea, which you're not allowing. I'm pretty sure if someone was wearing a pro-Trump, they're not going to be allowed to wear that Trump shirt. Ed. Give me one more. I'm having a major brain fart today and just not able to really think. Have you ever had some days just this negativity and all this bullshit just really weigh down on you? What they're teaching with these kids is they have a right to... Ooh, dang it. I could have swore I turned that webcam back on. I got to find a producer that can be here to control all the buttons and all the nifty little stuff like that. Because it is kind of hard trying to do all that and do the show sometimes. But the school district, after the Ninth Circuit Court upheld another California school district's ban on shirts, students wearing U.S. flag T-shirts on the American-Mexico holiday Cinco de Mayo. The case arose when a group of American students wanted to wear their U.S. flag shirts while other students draped themselves in Mexico national colors. The American-boosting students, though, were told to go home and change their clothes, and that they were not allowed to wear the U.S. flag-themed garb because it might upset the Mexican students. So Mexican flag T-shirts are okay, American flag T-shirts are not okay. Yeah. The students took the district to court and lost their case and their appeal to the U.S. Ninth Circuit Court. When the decision was handed down, American Freedom Law Center co-founder and senior counsel said that it is truly a sad day when government officials are permitted to ban the American flag on a public high school campus for any reason. Here, school officials fear that our clients would offend Mexican students if they wore a flag shirt to school on Cinco de Mayo. So they ordered the students to either remove their shirts or leave school in direct violation of their First Amendment rights. And what's even better is Cinco de Mayo is not a Mexican holiday. It is a holiday started in America that is Mexican heritage. They don't celebrate Cinco de Mayo in Mexico. That is the real funny part. It is an American holiday. In Mexico, it is just May 5th. That's it. It is a drinking holiday in the United States. In contrast, authorities at the Newport Harbor High School seem to have ruled that shirts attacking Donald Trump do not contain triggering messages, but anyone speaking against the shirts may be punished. So, Michael Walsh. Michelle, I almost called Michael. Sorry. Merkel is probably the worst chancellor since Hitler. I'd have to admit it. She's getting up there. And she's destroying Germany just as Hitler destroyed Germany. She may not be murdering people off like Hitler did. But she is running the country straight into the ground like Hitler did. Michael Walsh, who spent much of the year living in Ireland, tells the news about the conditions in Europe. I'm in California at the moment, but I've lived a great deal of my life in Europe. 10 years in Germany, for example, when I was at Time magazine, Walsh said. I went back and forth behind the Iron Curtain pretty steadily from 1985 till 91. I was there when the Berlin Wall came down, and I was in Russia when Chernobyl blew up. Maybe we don't want him in the United States. He seems to have bad luck. Wherever he goes, there seems to be some kind of significant destruction going on. And it was meant as a joke, people. So my perspective is pretty up close and personal. He mentioned half-jokingly that the IRA could now declare the war against England over because their work is done in England now that the Muslims have taken over. All the boys can come home and have a pint in the pub. In Ireland, we're still pretty much insulated from this because we don't have the colonies coming home to roost problem that Brits do. But on the other hand, the Germans are in a very, very deep trouble. Angela Merkel is probably the worst German chancellor since Hitler. And I don't mean that lightly at all. She's done more to destroy that country, culturally speaking, than anybody. Walsh recalled exploring issues of what our culture, where does it come from, what are the roots of Western culture, how do we defend it against Islam in this particular case, in his book, The Devil's Pleasure Palace, and I Am Jealous. Kel. I would love to go to Ireland. I would love to, but more so, I would love to go to England because actually that's my family heritage. And actually, my last name comes from, well, either vice versa. But if you go into England, there is a town, Antrobus, which is my last name, and you can just I would love to go there just so I can go in that town. This is my town. But I've also been told that Antrobus is about as common in England as Smith is in the United States. But yeah, I doubt I'll ever get it over there because I do not like flying. That's a lot of flying. He called the European Union just a substitute for the Soviet Union without the military force. Pretty much, yeah. I never thought of it that way, but yeah. And judged the EU's incapable of dealing with the social and economical stresses of mass migration from the Middle East, which he said was more properly viewed as an invasion. They don't have an army to speak of, and they can't defend themselves. We're watching this extraordinary thing going on. Yep. That's... I don't know if you want to say that's where my last name came from or that's how the village got its name. It depends on how far back, I can trace to who it was. But I've heard rumors that's how the village got its name. What's going on in Europe is just nothing more than an invasion. And underneath the guise of political correctness, and it's we're going to have no Europe soon. It's going to be the Middle East. And wherever the Middle East goes, there is death and destruction. I love how the Middle East, and everybody always blames the United States and England for all the problems. Well, my question to you is, was the United States responsible 1,400 years ago, 2,000 years ago for the wars that went on in the Middle East? Were we responsible 500 years ago for the wars that have gone on in the Middle East? 300 years ago. The wars in the Middle East have been going on since the start of time. Since the start of time, the Middle East has been fighting. It is the Middle East that is the cause of the problems in the Middle East. It is not England. It is not the United States. It's not Europe. It's not Russia. It is no one else except the Middle East. For whatever reason, they cannot get along with themselves. And it's tired of everybody pointing their finger at the United States saying it's our fault or England's fault. How about you start taking responsibility for yourselves? You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying coffee is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless, and some days it's just not going to happen. But the Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com, click on the chat room button, join the conversation. If you want to watch a live broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Hit the live stream. And don't forget to subscribe to that live stream. If you want to support the show or support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one, click on the Reaver store. And during the break, me and Kel were talking in the chat room. It's a shame. She says that she wants to get over to Europe before the beauty and the history of it is destroyed. And it's not that far-fetched of a comment, because look at the Middle East. ISIS is coming in and destroying everything that is their history. I mean, there are structures that have stood the test of time. 2,000 plus years old buildings, and they're being destroyed. And if you don't think that's going to happen in Europe, I mean, every proof says that, that's what will happen. They have trampled on the history of the Middle East. And these buildings that just amazing. I mean, the fact that the people 1,005, 2,000 years ago could build these structures was amazing, and the fact that they still stand. We can't even build a building that would last that long nowadays, or that perfect in structure with all the modern day's tools. It just... It blows my mind. And then we're sitting back and allowing the invasion of these areas and destruction of history. It's not even it's world history, the history of our ancestors. And it's just being ripped away. And we sit back and watch it. We're watching Europe being overtaken. Millions of Muslims are marching in from Syria and elsewhere. They don't even have to be... Oh, hell yeah. I wish I could go see, those cathedrals in England. 1,000 years old. These buildings, these beautiful structures, the castles, all that. I would love. I wish I could. But money and that flight, they would have to tranquilize me. Put me out for the flight. Yeah. Yeah, my wife's boobs wouldn't be able to take the flight over. And just so everybody doesn't think I'm being a pervert. When I first started dating my wife, her family was going to Cancun, and they invited me to come along. They paid for the trip. It was quite beautiful going there. But I have a small problem with flying. So we're flying into Dallas to catch a connecting flight into Cancun. Well, as we're coming in, we're hitting some turbulence, and I reached over to grab my wife, we were dating at that time, hand, and she just pushed aside, like, what are you doing? Just man up. And all of a sudden, at that point, the right wing just dropped 10 feet. And it just caused the plane to shift. And my arm immediately, if you're in a car and you go to protect the passenger, when you brake real hard, the arm just snaps out. Well, I did that right across her chest, and she's sitting there going, oh, my boobs. And her mother just looks and goes, well, if you were holding his hand, he wouldn't have been able to do that. So now the joke is when we fly, she's got to protect her boobs. And thank you, Kel. That was very nice of you. And I think so, too. She doesn't think so. But it was just funny. Her mother was like, well, if you were holding the hand, that wouldn't happen. Years ago, there was a flight that crashed that nosedived into the Everglades. Florida Everglades. And when I mentioned that, I was on the plane the night before. I never had a problem flying until that night. That plane was not acting correctly. And I flew into Raleigh, North Carolina. And then the next night, that plane crashed into the Everglades. I mean, we were coming in for a landing, and it was like all of a sudden the power would drop out, and the plane would drop down. And you'd hear them like hitting the engines real hard, trying to get altitude back up. And we were going back and forth coming into landing, and it scared the shit out of me. And ever since then, I don't know. I got a fear of flying now. I don't like it. I have no control over it. Not as far as I know, it could be some glue-sniffing crazy man that's tired of life is in control of the plane. Jeez. Yeah, that made me shit myself. Listen, I apologize. I know today's show is not one of the up-to-par shows, and I do apologize. Not trying to make excuses. I don't feel good today, and I'm trying to battle through everything. And some of this stuff, it's mind-numbing. It really is. When you have an idiot saying that gun control has nothing to do with Second Amendment rights. Yeah. When we have to worry about the feelings of convicts. That their feelings trump the feelings of the victims. It's mind-numbing. And what's funny is that I've talked about it multiple times about my dad being shot. Still to this day, they don't know who the guy is. They've never called him. Never. I don't even think anybody, after probably the first year or so after it happened, I think the case just went into a box and into the basement. No one looks into it. No one. Nobody gives a shit. The police don't give a shit. These anti-gunners don't give a shit. But the Department of Justice doesn't give a shit. But they're worried about how the felons will feel. Yes, you are, Kel. You are my Sacco. And if you don't know who Sacco is, you're going to have to, well, you would have to check into the old Sackhead shows. But my chaining up is a little bit nicer than what Sacco got. At least mine have furry handcuffs. Oh, like I said, I'm just not feeling that great today. And certain of these things, you have a Muslim police chief that says that offending culture, religion, and tradition is not protected as free speech. Now, thank God this isn't in the United States, because I would. I would. All right, I got to get my. All right. Damn it, Kel. Now. Oh, man. All right. The Muslim chief is not in America. It's not in America. And I'm sorry, but freedom of speech does cover, as much as I don't like it, and some people be like, oh my God, he's for. No, I'm not for hate speech, but hate speech is even covered. Because who determines what hate speech is? Because I don't agree with it, is it hate speech? Because I think it may promote disagreement, which disagreement can lead to hate. You know, where do you draw the line? Who decides? I don't trust the government, because they're going to be biased on what is hate speech and what isn't hate speech. They could say speaking against the government is hate speech. So yes, hate speech is part of free speech. I may not agree with it, but what's right is right. You know, where would you draw the line? Just because you're speaking out against, they have the, okay, perfect example. Muslims are always bashing not all Muslims, but majority of them are going out bashing Christians. In fact, they're beheading Christians because of their religious faith. But they don't want anybody saying anything negative about their religion because it's hate speech. Well, I'm sorry. Cutting someone's head off is a lot worse than me saying I don't like your religion. But that is hate speech according to what this police chief for the Greater Manchester has indicated. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom of offending culture, religion, or tradition. Yes, it does. Offending is a very... Well, there's no easy way to give a definition of offending because what offends you doesn't offend me, and what offends me may not offend you. There's people that get very offended if someone burps near them or passes gas. Sorry, it doesn't offend me because I know it's part of the body's, it's part of the makeup. It happens. Sometimes it's controllable, sometimes it isn't controllable. But there is people that get offended by that type of stuff. Well, I don't get offended. But when you want to talk about censoring people's speech, I get offended by you talking about that. So does he have a right to speak about that because it offends me? Exactly. A good burp is a compliment to the great meal. In a lot of cultures, it is like that. But in some cultures, no, it's offensive. So where, and who gets to decide? Do we have a national offensive committee? Who gets to vote on it? Is it majority rules or is it, the committee gets to bring up the rules? This is how stupid they sound when they go on droning about this kind of stuff. He then apologized to those defending the right to be offensive for any offense caused and argued that free speech should be used to promote tolerance and respect all. But the tolerance is another subjective term. Because here in America, we got a group, Democrats, they say they're the party of tolerance. What do they tolerate? Not much outside of what they want to. They don't tolerate opposing opinions. In fact, they can get very violent on opposing opinions. It's what's going on here is we have governments, and not just in Europe, not just in Canada, but all over, including the United States, where they're slowly trying to, instead of censoring speech, they're trying to do the censoring of speech by using other terms of politically correct. It's offensive. You can't say that. It's offensive. You're going to offend them. You don't want to hurt their feelings. And it's going on slowly. And I've made the analogy multiple times that it goes along to the frog in the pot. When they try to throw a frog into boiling water, he's going to jump on out. Well, when you try to stop free speech, people are going to fight against it. But when you put that frog in water, tempered water, and you turn the heat up slowly, he will not jump out. He doesn't realize the water's getting hotter. And that's what happens when you start doing stuff like this. Well, that isn't part of tolerance, so you can't say that. That is offensive. You can't say that. That's why if you get a little fight back on it, you can just, okay, all right, yeah, you can say that, go ahead. And then in another year, well, you can't say that. It's hate speech. And you could slowly censor the speech of the people before they even know that they've been censored or that they've given up their right to free speech. It's gone. And it's the same thing that they're trying to do here in America with the guns. They're trying to make it more difficult and harder to get a gun. So it'll get to the point where nobody wants to fight through the paperwork and all that. So you don't care. You don't own a gun. Who gives a shit? Oh, by the way, we're going to take away your Second Amendment rights. And everybody's going to go, I couldn't own one anyway, so who cares? And it's the same thing with free speech. And who's leading the fight in the Greater Manchester? The police chief inspector, who happens to be a Muslim. Muslims that don't want to have their God offended, but offend others. We'll be right back after this break, but you are listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover has arrived. And we have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on live stream. If you like the live stream, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you want to support the show or support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one. Click on the Reaver store. So, two things I want to bring up. One's a little bit off topic of, I'm seeing that some polls are showing the swing states, the ones that any Republican is going to have to take to win the presidency. And Trump is either tied with Hillary or leading Hillary in those swing states. I know it's early, but that's a good thing, showing that he is already putting up a good fight in those states. And I don't even think Cruz would be doing that at this point. Now, I've talked repeatedly about it. I think if we do get Donald Trump as president and things work out and everything goes good, I could see a Cruz presidency. But I couldn't see a Cruz presidency going from so far left to so far right. I don't see the people allowing that. It would be too much of a culture shock to them. It would be too easy a battle for the Democrats at that point to battle. The next point I want to bring up, we were talking about the censoring of speech and everything, and Kel put it in a great thing. She says that she agrees some speech is hate speech. Muslims calling for the destruction of the American Constitution and replacing it with their Sharia law should be challenged legally as treason to the United States. And yes, I agree, because you are talking about the destruction of our founding documents, restructuring our country. Yeah, that's a form of treason. It's one thing to say, hey, I would like to see the change of law where I don't see that X, Y, and Z is getting a fair treatment. So maybe we should change X, Y, and Z law to give that person better treatment. Or we feel that the Muslims are getting a bad rap because of the extreme Muslims, and we would like to separate ourselves with that, and a law put in that recognizes that we are different than an extremist. And I'm pulling this out of my ass as an example. It's not a set in stone. I agree with this. But that would be an acceptable argument. But to try to sit there and say that because you come from a country and you feel that Sharia law is better and we should rewrite all of our laws to accommodate that, yes, that's treason. And my question is, you're here in the United States. Why are you here? Because you thought it was a better life than where you were. Why is it a better life? Because we did not follow the same laws that your country follows. So why do you want to come to the United States and then say we need to change our laws to be more in line with the country you just left? Why? Because you really didn't want to leave that country and you're looking to expand your country. You're looking at a slow invasion. And those are the ones I have problems with. I have no problem with immigration. I really don't. I don't give a shit. If you want to come here and you want to go through the process and you want a better life and you see the American life as the better life, welcome aboard. Welcome to the United States and welcome to the American dream. Not everybody succeeds, but if you try real hard, there is a chance that you could succeed at the American dream. Those that want to break our laws to get in here, well, you prove that you're willing to break the laws to get what you want. What other laws are you willing to break to get what you want? I am against illegal immigration, period. What amnesty, and I'm not looking for any amnesty, but what amnesty is being given to the American people who have followed the laws for years, been a good citizen for years? We're not granted any special privileges. Why are the illegal immigrants coming into this country being granted special privileges? That is being racist to the American people, the American citizens, treating us like shit because we followed the law and giving, rewarding illegal immigration with citizenship. That is being racist to the American people. That is being racist to law-abiding citizens. And that is exactly what our government is doing. They are treating us like second-rate citizens and are rewarding people for breaking the laws. And now we got the Department of Justice that wants to pamper and baby these convicts and felons. Listen, everybody deserves a chance. And I'm not saying these people shouldn't deserve a chance. They should. They may have made a mistake. Some of them that are repeat offenders that's not a mistake. That's a way of life for them. Sometimes shit happens, mistakes happen. It doesn't mean these people shouldn't get second chances, but it doesn't mean we should coddle them like little babies. This is an adult culture. Treat them as such. If you break the law, you are a convict. You are a felon. End of discussion. If you come into this country illegally, you are an illegal alien. You are not an undocumented citizen. That's like calling a meth dealer an undocumented pharmacist. What do you call someone that murders somebody? A postgraduate abortion doctor? Come on. It's getting ridiculous. Almost as ridiculous as gun control has nothing to do with the Second Amendment. Yeah. And film has nothing to do with a movie. Flipping idiots. I really... hurts my head a lot of times. It really does. I get headaches from this crap. Trying to figure out the logic behind their stupidity. And then we have the Obama foreign policy czar that knew nothing about foreign policy and was just basically a very good liar. He was a deputy national security advisor. Ben Rhodes at New York Times Magazine is probably meant to be flattering. But it's kind of scary. The guy knew nothing about foreign policies. And it is everything to do with what Obama talks about. He never puts people that are best for the position. And it goes with my theory that this man, he feels he has to be the smartest man in the room. And great leaders don't always have the answer. Great leader surrounds himself with those that know the answers. Obama has to be the smartest man in the room. His ego gets in the way. His ego has hurt this country. And it's one of the reasons why I back Trump. Yes, he's got a huge ego. But he's ran his business because he's always put the people that were expert in the areas around him so that he could make a decision based on expertise. Where Obama's making it because his ego and his legacy. That's why I support Trump. And his mouth doesn't bother me. I'm a Jersey boy. We're rude, we're crude, we're obnoxious, and Trump, yeah, what he says really doesn't bother me. The one that I'm getting tired of, and McCain kind of admitted to in that recent interview he did, what was it, Sunday? You know, he understands that this is politics. He doesn't take it personal. And I'm not a McCain fan, but you know what? He spoke up. He said, yeah, I don't need an apology. That is not personal. That's what happens. Did this one get a little bit more personal than normal? Yes, but it's what happens in politics. Shit happens, go on. You pick up your balls, you keep going on. What's going on right now is a travesty. It's a joke. Oh, Trump's being mean. He's saying mean things. Well, guess what? Sugarcoating the problems of this country has gotten us in a worse condition than we already are. And that's all Obama's administration has done, whether economically, sociology, any of them. He has sugarcoated it and covered up the problems. He has not solved any of the problems. The problems are getting worse, and he just sugarcoats them. Nothing's getting better with the fight against ISIS, the fight against extreme Muslims. He sugarcoated, covered it up. He has caused a rift in this country through a racial divide. Economically, we're not doing better. We have been patchworking it together. We are sitting here pumping money into the New York Stock Exchange to artificially inflate it to make it look like we're doing good. And as soon as we stop putting money into it, because we're going to have to sooner or later, or we're going to go broke, we're going to have a crash again. But the sugarcoating goes on. And Obama lambasted anybody that speaks. You know what? I don't think we're going to see as much voter fraud have we seen in the past, because it has been ruled that voter IDs are not racist. And I love that one. Voter ID cards are racist. Well, you have to show an ID when you go to anything else in life. Friggin' Democrats have it that you have to show an ID during primary season to vote in the primaries. You have to show an ID. And most of your states that are doing the voter ID cards are even saying, hey, if you don't have the money, we're still going to give you one. They have in there sections for people who are having trouble. If you don't have a birth certificate, they're going to help you do stuff to get IDs. And people have IDs because how you getting your Medicaid, how you getting your Social Security, how you getting your prescriptions, how you renting a place, how you getting around. How do you have a bank? The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on that you have to have an ID. So people have them. They're just coming out with excuses so that they can continue voter fraud. And that does it for my show today. Again, I'm sorry if it wasn't the top notch. I feel like crap. I am going to go cuddle up in my bed and take a nice long nap till my daughter gets home. Then beat her up. No, I don't beat my daughter, but we have a thing what we call, and still to this day we do it. She's 12 years old and she still loves to do it. It's called beat up. And we'll sit there and basically fake fight. You know, it's our little time that we have fun. But I wanted to say I'll see everybody tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Till then, have a great day. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.